You may have noticed that many of your tomatoes have green and or oranging shoulders that resist turning red. And sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. And what is going on? Let me tell you a little story. And this is a parable of unintended consequences. Tomatoes are from South America, and we started moving them around a handful of centuries ago, so now they're grown all over the world. We harvest 15 million tons here in the US each year, and 99% of those plus are harvested before they're even red. They're harvested when they're green, and so that way they can be gassed, and then when they're in the stores they will be uniformly red. And that is a very new phenomena for tomatoes, because and it was only in the 30s that this mutant gene was discovered that allowed the tomato to be entirely uniformly light green, so then it would uniformly ripen a red color. Generally, take a look at your tomatoes. They have these, as they're ripening, these dramatic green stripes on the shoulders that are much darker green. And in fact, that green, just like the leaves, are full of chlorophyll, totally photosynthesizing. And yes, 80% of the sugars that are creating the flavor in your tomatoes come from the leaves, but that final 20% only come from this tomato itself, photosynthesizing on site. And so, interestingly, this light green color really isn't producing chlorophyll. It has some, but it's really not producing sugars. It's just those deep green shoulders in the green tomatoes that are really generating sugars right there within the fruit. And so the parable of unintended consequences, when in 1930 we started to select against those green shoulders so we could have uniformly red tomatoes on our supermarket shelves, we were selecting against flavor and literally taking the foundation away from these tomatoes so that they were even able to generate the kind of flavor internally, intrinsically, that they could. And so, yes, it may not be ideal to have green shoulders and this carotene you'll often see in more meat paste style tomatoes, but don't be daunted. Know that it is exactly because you have these shoulders that you have the exquisite flavor in your tomatoes, and now you know.